Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Not Just a Trend. I'm your host, Shiko, and I'm back with another episode. So, um, how you doing? How's life? How's everything? Last episode I dropped last week, so we are trying the consistency thing. Like we said in the beginning of the year, we are wanting to get there. I have been just life and being able to just see what that looks like, you know? And today's topic, right? I was just like thinking, I was like, so what is it that we can talk about that doesn't, you know, trigger some things, but also have that type of conversation? I want to talk about friendship versus acquaintances. Because sometimes there's a gray area that we all try to cross where it's like, hey, like, I know you, so you should be, we're friends, right? And so it comes with a lot more pressure, especially if sometimes friendships that we see is one-sided could be an acquaintance for the other side. And so with my experiences with friendship, and also I want to hear yours, right? So now we have an Instagram, now we have that you can DM me your stories, and eventually I can talk about it. But definition of a friend, right? Because a friend should be somebody who got your back. And it's basically from Google. It means a person who one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual or family relations. Add someone to a list of contacts. Oh, that's a verb. Anyway. So, true definition of a friend is someone who accepts you unconditionally, helps you grow, supports you in tough times, and increases your ability to love yourself. That's a friend. That should be a friend, right? While the definition on for acquaintance is a person who knows slightly, but who is not a close friend. So here's where we confuse it sometimes. Well, I have been confusing it for so long, to the point that I put myself on friendships that aren't friends, right? And that is a loose term. Like, I used to use it loosely. I'm still struggling to use it loosely right now, but I have created more of a space for me to be like, are they really a true friend, or are they an acquaintance? And if you're put in an acquaintance, doesn't mean you have access to everything. You don't know my struggles. You don't know what I'm going through. But a friend will be like, hey, man, I'm struggling today. An acquaintance, I'll be like, just pray for me. Pray the way you want. Because we are part of a kingdom together. We are in the Christian community together, right? And so it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be honest with you that I'm struggling, but also being mindful not to put you into it, because I really want, in the season I'm in a space where I want my close friends to be able to go through life with me, and I don't have to worry about it going somewhere else or feeling some type of way. Um, Friendships has been somewhat of a struggle for me for so many years, and it could be that I travel, like, just not having, moving a lot, as and just in the season I've been having the friends, like right now, that I have are friends that I've had for quite some time, that I went to college with. Those are my people. And each place that I've lived I at least have one friend that I still talk to today, which is fantastic. And acquaintances are many. I know a lot of people, and a lot of people are like, "Are those your friends?" And I'm like, "No," or like, a friend could turn into an acquaintance, right? Because sometimes you fall out of that, and you to turn into strangers to each other, and you just have to figure out what that looks like for both of you. But for me, friendships have been, for real, when I said in the beginning, it's been a struggle. And borderlining it between acquaintance and calling your friend is something that I not recently, but a few months ago, I sat down and I said, all right, I need to stop calling everybody my friend, because knowing friendships are harder than art should be easy. It shouldn't be a hard situation. You shouldn't feel like you're working for a friendship. You should be feeling like it's natural, it's easy, and sometimes it's okay to create acquaintances that could turn into friendships. So just being able to just discerning that for yourself. And friend, like, when, especially when you have a calling that everybody should have access to what your calling is. There are only specific people that I've entrusted that, so that you can pray with me during the season I'm in and be like, hey, God reveal this to me, pray with me. But also, as somebody who is taking on that, it's not for you to go and tell somebody else what this person said. And because of the idea of going from worldly friendships to creating Christian friendships, sometimes we forget that our flesh overpowers. Because there's sometimes I'm like over here, I'm like, I'm ready to gossip, I'm ready to talk, I'm trying to drift away from that. But friendships come easy for me. Like, it's one of those where I'm like, oh, okay, you're my friend. Wait, hold on. No, you're just an acquaintance, because it hurts more because you put that idea of like, this is a friend. So, but to them, you're just an acquaintance. So that's where the friendship hurt comes from. And it's sometimes not reciprocated. And that's okay. Um, there's even work, especially work friendships, are fantastic. They're great. Do it. Like, get your friends at work that you can talk to, that you can go through life together, but also creating that boundary of what that looks like. If they're strictly work friends, they're probably going to be an acquaintance, because if you leave that position, are they going to continue talking to you? Are they going to continue doing life with you? Or are they going to drift away because you're not going through the same situations anymore? That's another thing. School, college. When I was in college, I knew so many people. I had so many acquaintances that I called friends that right now I don't even talk to or know or even remember their names. But there's just times where, when we're thinking through how to create community in the Christian world, it comes with a lot of thinking and a lot of allowing yourself to be in a space where it should come freely. That's my whole point. Friendship should come freely. And I want to know what that definition looks like for you. What is friendship versus acquaintance? And right now, are you in a space to discern that? Are you in a space to understand who's a friend and who's an acquaintance in your life, or who was a friend and needs to go back to being an acquaintance? It's hard to do that, because sometimes some friends are really close to you and you're just like, I don't know if I want to let go of it. But let go and let God, because you don't want to hold on to something that God has been trying to push you away from, because that just hinders you from allowing His promises to be achieved. So answer that question in a journal, or tell a friend, or you can DM me. Do whatever you want to, however you want to answer that. But I would also want to hear your answers too. If you really want to tell me, I really don't mind hearing about it. But I will say this, that friendships can hurt. Acquaintances that you think are friendships can hurt too, because you go out and you're just like, these are my friends. I've had so many people in my life who are more so acquaintances than friends. And it hurts. It really does. And it's something that from after college is something that I had to discern what that looks like. And I did. And I'm happy I did, because today, each person that comes into my life, I can be like, all right, you're an acquaintance, you're a friend, what's up? And sometimes it's hard to understand that, because sometimes it could be an acquaintance masking a friend, and that's where hurt comes from, and it's a one-sided friendship. Um, I usually use that one-sided friendship as defined as an acquaintance, because you're in more of a space where it's like you're not a close friend to them, but they're a close friend to you. When and it gets to a point where actually you realize how much this person does not want to be around you. But it's okay. Friendships come, they go. Some friendships are seasonal. I don't know if you've ever heard about seasonal friendships, where people are there for a specific time period and then they go. That's not because they're not your friend, but during that time, God had opened up a door for both of you to be friends, or that group of friends that you've been friends with, and He shuts it. And then they turn into acquaintances. I like to put it that way because I don't believe in ghosting in the Christian world. If that's what you're doing, I need you to stop, because it can hurt somebody. You don't understand what friendship hurt them in the past that could be triggered by you ignoring them. But also, it's not your choice to, it's not for you to be somebody's healer. It's also for you to be able to step out of your own comfort zone and just push through. I used to be tough with the people I put around me, and not everyone had access to friendships. And even like today, I started figuring out what defining friendships in my perspective, which has caused a lot of different shifts in what that looks like. And it's not something that I am like, oh no, we're not going to be friends. No, we're still friends. But it's just one of those where it's like, not everyone is your friend. And not every person that you call friend is to them, you're their friend. And so that understanding that, and then knowing that that could possibly be an acquaintance or just somebody who you are close to, and you just have to set the boundaries. And another thing is also capacity. And a lot of us, when we're put into friendships, we put a lot of weight on our friendships. And sometimes it's like, I may not have the capacity to be there for you, to go there for you, to 100% be there for you. But there's also that aspect of like, as a friend, how are you pulling up for your friends? And it's one too many where I've been hurt by friendships, or I have hurt people in my friendships too. There was a time in a specific year in my life that I really did not care who you were and what you were doing in my life. Like, I would destroy, and it wasn't a good perspective. It wasn't good at all for anybody around me, especially with the mental health that I had. And it was, you're my friend, cool, but mm-mm. And also, I was just having fun. So I think as we go on, and as the year continues, just setting the boundaries of friendships and acquaintances, and allowing the right people to be in your life and pouring into your life to be what you need them to be, not what they want you to be. And it's all about, it's a balance, actually. It's more so a balance of understanding how they want to pull up and how you want to pull up for them. And it's not easy because as I moved here, a lot has changed because, man, did God pull me out when I had the best community ever back home. And they're still my friends. I still talk to them. But I find it so hard because I'm just like, oh, these are my people. I know for a fact these are my people. But now I'm like, okay, starting from scratch. This is great. Because every time you come into a new place, the first people who are your friends might not be your friends towards the end of the season. So, like, for example, my college friends shifted completely as I was graduating, just depending on, again, capacity and what I was trying to do is graduate. So, if you were not trying to graduate with me, deuces, like it was um like-mindedness, because there's a saying, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. It's true. Like when I was a kid, oh, I hated that saying because I was like, no, my friends were legit, my friends were great, my friends are good. And as I grew up, I'm just like, nah, like it's no, like show me your friends is for real. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And um it like I remember, I think I can tell the story. So I remember I had a group of friends, and they weren't bad friends. Like I genuinely appreciate them. And it was just the fact that my mindset growing up was I really wanted to fit in. And even now, unfortunately, that's where my mindset has gone back to. And it caused a lot of ripple of like my authenticity as a person. And it caused friendships where it's like, oh, you guys are my friends, but it was like superficial friendships where we're only friends with you because you went out or you did this or you did that or you did this. And it's like, okay, cool. But today I'm just like, I just want genuine friendships. And in time, it will happen. But I just remember like every time I go back into the past and I'm just like, wow, I was out here crazy in a lot of things that I did, but it was me trying to fit into a mold that it wasn't me. And now I'm like, oh, okay, I really want genuine friendships and to grow from that and to not just think about what so and so is saying or what they might say or what they may think, because sometimes it doesn't really matter. Even family, it shouldn't matter. If you're out here trying to do your hustle. And then after that, you can deal with the repercussions after that. I'm just saying, don't be too extra. Don't be out here doing the crazies. But if you're doing something that is good for you and a place where you're pushing yourself, do it. And then whoever needs to come will come around and figure it out. But friendships are hard. They're fun. Adult friendships are really hard to sustain. They're great once you do get them, but it's like really hard because we're adults. We don't really have a past history to be like, hey, you're my friend from my college, or like we went through college together. All my college friends, we remember every class that we went through, and we're like, ah, man, that class was so hard. I didn't like this teacher because we had something tangible. Work friends, same thing. It's like, oh man, that boss was in it, or remember that project we worked on together? It was tough. Um, and you have church friends who it's you're doing life together. You're doing the struggles of being a Christian in a world that doesn't really accept Christianity as much as they should. And it's great. So just as Jesus only had three good friends out of 12, he had a whole crew of people that he used to hang out with, but he was like only three of them were his come with me, I'm gonna go pray. Come with me, were his actual community. And just a little challenge for you guys. But I really hope that this year you get what you deserve. That's what I'm gonna say. But thank you so much for listening to this episode, and I will see you next time.